So, there's a term, japa, in Sanskrit, and it means to repeat, basically. Usually associated with mantra, you repeat a mantra until your illusory self dissipates, vanishes, and only the real self remains, to the point where you're not even thinking about you, this illusory you. You're just there with that being. However, that being appears to you. And then you begin to understand what love is. What true love is, anyway. So, not only mantras are repeated, but stories, legends, what I consider to be sacred tales, are repeated. So, on that note, I will continue reading from the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Okay. Okay. So, Sutta Ugrashrava Goswami, he is sitting in this great assembly in this forest called Naimisharanya, and he is surrounded by all these sages, right? And they are asking him all these questions because he was a direct disciple of Vyasadeva, the compiler of all the Vedas. He was a fellow student to Shukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, who is Shiva himself. So, if this video sounds repetitious, it's only because it probably is. So, Sutta, which means speaker, Goswami, says to the rishis, to the seers, to the munis, O munis, hear all of you attentively to the glorious deeds of the supremely energetic Vishnu, the Deva of all the Devas, the God of all the gods. Once upon a time, the eternal Deva, Janardana, another name for Vishnu, became tired after the terrible and continuous battle for 10,000 years with these rascal demons. After this, Narayana seated himself in the Padmasana, the full lotus posture. He picked a very lovely place on a level plot of ground, and placing his head on the front of his bow, with the bow strung and placed erect on the ground, he fell fast asleep. Vishnu, the Lord of Rama, as opposed to Rama is a name for Lakshmi. So Vishnu, the Lord of Rama, was exceedingly tired, and in this way he fell into a deep sleep. At this time, Indra and the other Devas, with Brahma and even Mahesh, Shiva, began a sacrifice, yajna. Then they, for the sake of success of the Devas' well-being, went to the region of Vaikuntha to meet with Janardana Narayana, who is the Lord of all sacrifices. Once there, the Devas, not finding Vishnu, came to know by their dhyana, by their meditation, where Bhagavan Vishnu was staying, and so they went there. They saw that Vishnu, the Deva of all Devas, was lying unconscious, being under the arms of Yoga Nidra, yogic sleep. Therefore, they took their seats there. Seeing the Lord of the universe asleep, Brahma, Rudra, and all the devas became very anxious. Indra, the king of the gods, then addressed all the devas. He said, "O best of the suras," another way of saying devas, "now what is to be done? How shall we arouse Bhagavan from his sleep? We must think of the means by which this can be done." Hearing Indra's words, Shambhu said, "O good devas, now we must finish our sacrificial work. But if the sleep of Bhagavan be disturbed, even Bhagavan will get angry." Hearing Shankara's words, Parameshtin Brahma, the grandfather of the universe, created a bunch of insects called Vambri, sort of like white ants, so that they might eat up the forepart of the bow that was lying on the ground, causing the other end to rise up and thus break his sleep. This way, he would wake up and the purpose of the devas would be fulfilled. Thus, settling his mind, the eternal deva, Brahma, ordered the white ants, the Vambris, to cut the bowstring. Hearing this order of Brahma, Vambri, the head white ant, spoke to Brahma and said, "O Brahman, how can I disturb the sleep of the Deva, Lord of Lakshmi, the veiled Guru? To rouse one from one's deep sleep, to interrupt one in one's speech, to sever love between a couple, husband and wife, to separate the child from one's mother. All these are equivalent to Brahma Hatya, murdering a Brahman. Therefore, O Brahmadev, how can I, little white ant, chief of white ants, interrupt the happiness of the Deva sleep? How to do this, Brahma? What are you asking me to do? And what benefit shall I derive by eating the bowstring? I have better eating habits than that. Why? You think because I am the chief of white, I am an ant, that I am into bowstring? No, I have my own preferences, thank you very much. And I will only incur sin from this vicious act. It's bad enough I am a little ant. But a man can commit a sin if there be any interest of his. I am ready to eat this. What to do when Brahma himself is telling me to do this? Brahma said, "Don't worry, we will give you a share in a yagya, sacrifice, okay? So hear me, do our work and rouse Vishnu from his sleep. During the time of performing Homa, whatever ghee, clarified butter will fall outside the Homa Kund, the sacrificial pit, will fall to your share, O chief of the white ants. So be quick and do this deed." And so Sutta continues talking to the assembly. Thus ordered by Brahma, the Vambri insect soon ate away the forend of the bow that rested on the ground. Immediately, the string gave way and the bow went up. But it went up the other end. It became free, and a terrible sound took place. The devas became full of fear. The whole universe got agitated. The earth trembled. The sea became swollen. The aquatic creatures became startled. Violent winds blew all over the place. The very mountains shook. Ominous meteors fell. The quarters of the sky, all the directions of space, assumed a terrific aspect. Why, even the sun went down the horizon. In that time of distress, the devas became anxious over what evil might come down now. Oh, ascetics! Oh, renunciate sages. While the devas were thus thinking in this manner, the head with crown, with the crown of the head of Deva Vishnu Janardana Narayana Mahapurush vanished away. Nobody knew where this head went. When the awful darkness disappeared, Brahma and Mahadeva saw the disfigured body of Vishnu with his head cut off. Seeing that headless figure of Vishnu, they were greatly surprised. They were drowned in the ocean of cares, and overwhelmed with grief, began to weep aloud. "Oh Lord! Oh Master! Oh Deva! Oh Eternal One! What unforeseen extraordinary mishap has occurred today? Oh Deva! You cannot be pierced nor cut asunder, nor capable of being burnt. How is it then that your head has been taken away? Is this some sort of Maya, some sort of magic? Oh Deva, oh all-pervading one, Vishwama! The Devas cannot live when your condition is in this manner. We do not know what affection you have toward us. Have you lost your love for us, your wonderful demigods? We are crying because of our selfish ends. Perhaps this is why this has occurred." Notice that they're not so much worried about Vishnu's head being cut off. They're worried about getting their wishes fulfilled. The Daityas, Yakshas, or Rakshasas, demons, have not done this even. O Lord of Lakshmi, whose fault will we ascribe this to? The little white ant? The Devas themselves have committed this loss to themselves. O Lord of the Devas are now dependent on you. But where are you now? Your head is cut off. They are under your shelter. Now where are we to go? What are we to do? There is none to save the dull, stupid Devas. At this juncture, seeing Shiva and the other Devas crying, Brihaspati, the guru of the Devas, supremely versed in the Vedas, consoled them in this manner. He said, "O highly fortunate ones, what use is there in all this crying and repenting? You ought to now consider the means that you should adopt to redress your calamities. O Lord of the Devas, Indra, fate and one's own exertion and intelligence are equal. Fate, and one's own exertion and intelligence are equal. If the success does not come through fate, luck, or chance, one is certainly to show one's prowess and merit." Indra said, "Fie to your exertion, when before our very eyes the head of Bhagavan Narayana himself has been carried off. Fie to your prowess and intelligence, O Brihaspati. Fate is, in my opinion, the supreme." Brahma said, "Next time I will get into what Brahma said. Because you people just don't understand, But, I try my best. Om Namo Bhagavati. Om Namo Bhagavati. Jai Ma Bhagavati. Jai Ma Bhagavati. Tripura Sundari ki jai ho.